Alright, starting lesson 2, we're multiplying, dividing, adding, and subtracting integers. Alright, so an integer is simply a positive or negative whole number, or 0. Alright, so multiplying integers, good properties to remember. Positive times a positive is positive. Negative times a negative is positive. Whenever you have two different signs together and you're multiplying, you end up with a negative. Alright, and when you're dividing integers, the same properties apply. Positive, positive, you get positive. Negative, negative, you get positive. And if you have one of each, you end up with negative. Alright, so multiplying 5 times 3. Well, 5 times 3 is 15, but we have a negative times a negative, which is a positive. 7 times negative 8, that's 56. Alright, but since we have a positive times a negative, that's negative. Alright, 9 times 9 is 81. Negative times negative, that's positive. 9 times 3, 27. Positive times negative, that's negative. And we have 7 times 6, 42. Negative times negative, that's positive. And we have 4 times 6, 24. Positive times negative, that's negative. And you have 1 times 8 is 8. Negative times negative, that's positive. Then you have 5 times 8, that's 40. Negative times positive, that's negative. Then you have 6 times 9, 54. Negative times negative, that's positive. Then we have negative 12 times negative 6. So we have 72. Negative times negative, that's positive. Then we have 0 times negative 8. Anything times 0 is 0. And 0 has no sign, it's neutral. And we have 5 times 8, which is 40. Positive times negative, so that's negative. And then I'm going to multiply it still by negative 3. 40 times 3 is 120. Negative times negative is positive. Alright, and did I get the signs right to all these? Just checking to make sure really quick. Don't want to make any mistakes. Yeah, we're good. Okay, moving on to the next example. Dividing. We have 3/9. A lot of students write 3 as the answer here, but we're going to divide top and bottom by 3, and we get 1 over 3, where negative divided by positive is a negative. So typically as your final answer, you'll have the negative sign right next to the division symbol. All right. So this is how many times 9 goes into 3, and 9 does not go into 3. So I would just simplify it as a fraction. All right, then we have 8/12. Let's simplify this. Could divide 4 into both these, so we get 2/3. And we have a negative divided by a negative, that's positive. Then we have 9/15. We could divide 3 into all these, so we have 3/5. And we have a positive divided by a negative, which is negative. Then we have 5/10. Divide these by 5. So we have 1 over 2. Negative divided by positive is negative. Then we have negative 10 over 5. All right, 10 divided by 5 is 2. Negative divided by positive, that's negative. And we have 24 divided by 60. 12 goes into both of these. All right. If you couldn't see that immediately, just start off with the smallest number that goes into both, which would be 2, and then you could just keep simplifying it from there. So I have 2 over 5, and negative divided by negative is positive. All right, here I have 12 divided by 6. That's just 2. Positive divided by negative, that's negative. All right, so this is a division symbol, this is a division symbol. All right, just a different way of writing the same thing, essentially. Now we have 48 divided by 6. That's going to be 8. Negative divided by positive is negative. We have negative 9 divided by 27. Okay, 27 doesn't go into 9. All right, so we're going to have to simplify this fraction. We have negative divided by negative is positive. All right, now I divide 9 into both here, and I get 1/3. All right, be careful with that. And then I have 32 divided by 32 is 1. Negative divided by positive is negative. 0 divided by negative 6. 0 divided by anything besides 0 is 0. All right, and then we have negative 7 divided by negative 56. So I have 7 over 56. Because negative divided by negative is positive, I divide 7 into both of these, and I get 1/8. All right, that's it for dividing integers. On to the next example. All right, so multiplying and dividing integers is simple. It gets a little tricky for some in the beginning when adding and subtracting integers, but here's a couple strategies to help you out if you have any difficulty with this concept. So there's the visual method, where you use a number line. Okay, so just read through these instructions. All right, then there's a numerical method as well. Okay, read through these instructions. All right, and I'm going to perform both of these strategies below. All right, so for example 1, the visual method. All right, you start off with the first number on the number line, and then I'm subtracting 3. So if I'm subtracting, I'm going to the left on the number line. So you just hop here. Hop the gaps. 1, 2, 3. All right, so I end up at -1, and that's my answer. All right, well, let's use the numerical method on the right side here. All right, so this is positive. The second value is negative. If that's the case, you subtract the values. 3 minus 2, 1. All right, so I have 1, but now we look at the numbers. This one's positive, that one's negative. Now, which number is bigger, 2 or 3? 3 is a bigger number. What's its sign? Its sign is negative. All right, so that's what our final answer is going to be. It's going to be -1. All right, on to example 2. We're starting off at -2. Then I'm going to add 3. So I'm going to hop over 3 units to 1. The answer is 1. All right, using the numerical method. Signs are different. We're going to subtract. Bigger number minus a smaller number. Now we go back to the numbers. The number itself, which one's bigger, 2 or 3? 3 is bigger. And what's its sign? It's positive. Okay, so then I have +1 as my final answer. Let's go on to some more examples. These match. These match. All right, if two signs are next to each other, then use multiplication rules, positive and negative numbers, to get one sign. All right, so here we have two signs together. Positive times a negative is what? Negative. Here we have a negative times a negative. What's that? Positive. Okay, so whenever you have two signs right next to each other, make sure to condense it into one sign. All right, so here I'm going to have positive times a negative, so I end up with -2 minus 3. I start off with -2 on the number line, and I'm subtracting 3, so I go to the left. 1, 2, 3. All right, answer is -5. All right, using the numerical approach, same deal as before. Positive times a negative is negative. All right, now since the signs are the same, they're both negative, I'm simply going to add the numbers. 2 plus 3 is 5. And you keep the sign. -5. Since both are negative, your result is going to be negative. All right, and then here I have negative times negative. That's positive. I'm going to start off at -2, and I'm adding 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, so I end up with 1. And here I'm going to use negative times negative. That's positive. All right, so here once again I have different signs. I'm going to subtract the numbers. Bigger minus smaller. I end up with 1. Now let's go back to the numbers themselves. Which one's bigger, 2 or 3? 3 is bigger, and its sign is positive, so that means my answer is positive. All right, and you'll notice that these match, these match. Okay, so same answer, but a different approach. All right, if you're having any difficulty with these strategies, please make sure to ask for help. All right, but usually understanding it in this way is the best way to go about doing it, because if you're thinking about the number line in your head, you'll always end up at the right spot then. Whereas with this is a bit abstract and you're remembering some rules. I prefer you understanding how to work with integers by looking at it this way. Alrighty, going on to the next example. Now let's pump some of these answers out here. So there's the physical strategy where you can stand up, use your arms and body as a number line. Your left arm can be the negative territory, and the right hand can represent the positive territory, and your head could be 0. Right, so if If you want to stand up and do that, feel free to. All right, example 1. Simplify 8 minus 5. All right, so you could start using a number line. You could draw it out if you need to on your piece of paper. All right, and then you could count. Do that if you need to. And I'll also be giving out a helpful number line sheet, so you don't have to draw it out each time. You could just look at the sheet and count your way around the number line. Here I have -3. All right, -6 plus 9. You could also think about it in terms of money. I'm $6 in debt, and now I'm paid $9. So I could pay off my $6 of debt. What are you left with? $3. And that's another strategy. Just think of it in terms of money. I'm $9 in debt. I just got paid $6, so I could pay off some of that debt. How much debt will I still be in? $3. All right. If your answer is negative, you're still in debt. Here I'm -$4 in debt. Now I'm another $7 in debt. All right. So altogether, how many dollars in debt am I on? -11. All right. Same deal here. -7 minus 4. Just adding them up. 11 results negative. All right. Then I have -15 plus 3. -12. All right, once again, use the number line if you need to. Use the numerical strategy, or think about it in terms of money. Whatever works for you. Here I have 9, and here I have -89. All right, we got a couple more examples. Whenever negatives or the signs are next to each other, make sure to obtain one sign first. All right. Should be feeling nice and comfortable with this now. All right, and now it's the same thing as what we had before. All right, so use whatever approach works for you. And then if you're having trouble with big numbers like this, then just use a calculator. It's up to you. I enjoy the mental exercise, but it's up to you how you prefer working out these problems. All right. All right, I'm just working this out in my head. If you have any trouble working out in your head, no problem. Don't fret. You got the number line, you got the calculator, you have a number of different strategies. Just use what works for you. If you have any questions, please let me know. Begin the assignment at the bottom of the webpage.